What's going on? Welcome back to the Dev Show. I'm here today with Niki Koss, director of the new film Night Night. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I thought by now we'd be more out in the field, but I'm still doing things on the computer. I've become good at it, and it's fun. So, welcome.
Thanks. Yeah, I feel like every time I get like a little glimmer of hope, but we just get take like 10 steps backwards.
Yeah, but we just have to keep that mindset of soon,
So
soon.
whenever that
Um, Yeah, so you directed the new film Night Night, and I'm sure you have many stories to tell. But the first thing that I was kind of wondering, because it wasn't too long ago, how was the premiere?
Oh, thanks for asking. It was great. We had a big premiere in Malibu, and then we had an opening night screening in LA, and then we did a big one in Missouri, and there was one in Texas last night, but I couldn't come to that one. And they've just been incredible, and it's just so cool to be able to watch it, not only with the people involved, but the people that have kind of like stayed tuned on social media and just via word of mouth throughout the whole journey and just kind of all come together and
Hmm.
see it come to fruition.
Yeah, I see like the online viewership or engagement is over what 90 million? I don't know what it was.
Well, yeah,
Million. It'd be big,
we've got
huge.
it's a lot of engagement, and we have
Yeah.
a cast with big, really devoted audiences that are really just so excited to jump onto anything they do and are just really enthusiastic about the whole thing. So we got lucky.
Yeah, you have Tony Todd, Brianna D'Amico, Eric Roberts, and I even seen Maddie. I gotta figure out how to pronounce his name.
Harder. It's kind of a tough one.
Maddie Carter-Ropel, and that was cool. He's in a lot of cool things that I've seen. But you are working with a stellar cast. What was that like for you?
It was great. I mean, Brenna and Maddie, I always tell them they're like my muses and I want them in everything I make. And Brenna this is our first time working together. She's extremely professional, like incredibly professional. And she rides the line so well of being professional and showing up to do her job, but also really making every single person there feel special and feel like they're supposed to be there and that they have a purpose. And that they're important, and that's rare. And so she's just a blessing to work with. Maddie's hilarious. I can just throw him into any situation and be like go, and he'll create magic. And everyone was just really, I can't tell you how lucky I got with the cast. I just, it's all uphill from here. Downhill, no, uphill.
Uphill.
Yeah. It was a blessing to have them.
Absolutely, I'm sure. Yeah. I also wanted to ask you, we're working with Robert Johnson, who was the writer. How was your relationship throughout the production, which all took place in 2020, correct? Or
Yeah, literally January, February 2020. And then we got home and we are like indoors. Um, Robert is amazing. He is a character. He's the chief of police of this small town in Texas where we shot Corsicana. And I had met him a few years prior working on another movie that I was acting in. And then he called me up when he had this script and said he wanted me to be a part of it. And we sort of went back and forth on it for a while, revised it. Then I went down there and we met our executive producer, and everything just kind of started flowing after that, and everything fell into alignment. And he is just really awesome to work with. He's become family.
right on. And this is your directorial. Is that I don't know. Is that how you say it? Directorial, like
Yeah,
editorial, directorial
got it.
debut. So congratulations on
Thank
that.
you. Yeah,
Um, Yeah, I have to say, I loved the film. I did
thank you.
like it. For me, it was very aesthetically pleasing. And I'm
Ah,
sure it's all right.
my aunt just really wanted to be part of that interview.
No, it's a part of the job, right?
Yeah.
For me anyways, you wouldn't believe it. I had people pick up the phone and like,
Hold on. I'm in an interview. I'll call you back. I hope that makes it in.
It can if you want. I mean, I do a little bit of chopping, but we can go, on the
Sorry.
no, it's okay. It's okay. Honestly, I have people pick up the phone and have whole conversations and I'm just here
Oh
listening.
my God, really?
Yeah, it's happened once, but Um anyways, back to the what I was saying. It's very aesthetically pleasing. I'm sure you've heard that. And I noticed a few shots that you did where it was point of view and you seen her pour the coffee. And for me, that reminded me of kind of a Wes Anderson kind of style. And I was wondering where you draw your inspiration from.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. He's one of my inspirations.
Really?
Yes, I'm a big fan. So, I would say a plethora of different things. I find most of my inspiration comes from music, people, walking like in a city, like whatever city I'm in. I'll always take walks. I'm a big walker, and just I draw so much inspiration from just looking around. And then just different directors like Wes Anderson, Tarantino, the Coen brothers, Coppola, Scorsese. So yeah, I would say like a lot of different things. But
Yeah.
as far as the colors go, I just found I've been directing for a while, and like maybe 4 years ago, I think I started to really zero in on my filmmaking style, and
Hmm.
color played a huge role in that. And it kind of came about naturally. I just sort of started really liking this idea of like layering different tones of the same color together in one space that felt almost like bizarre and um, just different than what we're used to in a almost slightly uncomfortable way. So then when Night Night came about, I really loved the idea of leaning into an aesthetic that um, paralleled the what was on the page in a bizarre way and didn't feel like something you would expect to match what the content is that you're actually watching. And I hoped that it would contribute to the eeriness and dreamlike state of it all.
Yeah, it definitely did. And dreamlike is the perfect way to describe it. Um, for me, it was blue in this movie. It was, and it's perfect that you're wearing a blue shirt. It just ties in perfectly. But when she was, when Brenna was in the bed, um, everything was blue. Then, like you mentioned, different shades of blue, and I just absolutely loved the way that that looked on the screen. It was
Thank you.
amazing. Yeah, no, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Um,
Yeah, I was
of
like
course.
painting like lamps and it was wild. But I honestly I can't tell you how many people looked at me like I was insane during that process. And our production designer so many times was like, "Are you sure you want me to do this?" And I was like, "Yes, I promise." And somehow it all came together. But there were so many moments where I second guessed myself and was like, "Is this crazy? Is this gonna work?" But I'm glad it worked out.
I mean, as soon as people are asking the question, "Are you sure?" you know that you're diving into your own kind of style,
Yeah,
which is awesome.
thank you. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really
no.
important for me to, like, as I move forward in directing, ensuring that I have a specific aesthetic that people can sort of associate me with. And my goal is for people to be watching one of my films and not know I was the director, and like 10 minutes in be like, oh, this is a Niki Koss film.
Right. That's a very ambitious goal, and I have to say that with your first your first directed film, you've already done a good job at it. So,
Thank you
um,
so much. I really
yeah, like
appreciate that.
no, seriously, that's why when we were talking about getting Adam and Brooke on the show, and then I watched the film, and I'm like, I need to talk to Nikki. So here we are,
Great. That
and yeah, I mean, so can we talk a little bit about K Factor Films? Um, yeah, so I mean, I want to hear it from you, directly from you. Tell us a little bit about what the goal is with your production company.
So K Factor Films is a multimedia production company. We do shorts, music videos, we TV, but we really specialize in features. And the goal as a company is to help propel the careers of different directors and filmmakers that are often overlooked for things that really have nothing to do with filmmaking, and help them elevate themselves as much as we possibly can, and using our own tools and connections and experience to do that. So that's the overall goal. And we ultimately we work with a lot of female filmmakers and just minority filmmakers in every sense of the word. And not to say that that's the only thing we do, but that's definitely what our main focus is. And it's just been an incredible journey to be able to work alongside my producing partners, Samantha and Becky and Ryan. And we all kind of bring something different to the table. And we really have become a little K Factor family.
Right on. That's awesome. I know that honestly, throughout the world, from here to LA, I've met people that are, like you said, under, what was the word that you used?
Minority and
Minority.
yeah,
Yeah. Or like not really recognized for their work as
overlooked.
much. Right. So I've noticed that like there's a very great support system in place for that. I mean, I know a few small production companies up here in Toronto, and throughout everything being so digitalized and doing interviews and discovering people online on social media, I've just realized, how much people are rooting for people, and I see that that's something that, is an objective with your production company, and that's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. And especially like I love supporting female filmmakers specifically. And
Yeah.
I think that Hollywood is doing a really good job of paying really close attention to how necessary that is now. And so I'm so excited to be able to just kind of jump on that train and take that and run with it and help do whatever I can to kind of like bridge that gap a little bit.
Yeah. And so, with your production company and the future of your career, are you looking to keep it more independent, keep it more indie, stuff like that? Is that where you want to go, or do you want to go down the Hollywood route?
Good question. I think that we know we're at this point where we're kind of still a boutique production company, and we don't want to bite off more than we can chew.
Hmm.
We want to kind of start um, making a name for ourselves in that indie world and almost sort of model like an A24 type of formula, where we can really uh, solidify our place in that arena and know that we have sort of mastered it, so to speak. And then once we feel like we've gotten there, we can kind of move on. But we have projects of, way bigger budgets that we're in the packaging phase of, and, doing whatever we can to try and get made. But I think right now we're really making a name for ourselves with being able to do a lot for less, which is kind of a rarity in this town because I believe there's so much waste in this business financially. And I think it's really important to be able to stick a pin in that and be able to kind of like pay attention, like really untangle why, and not do that anymore.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I have a couple more questions. We're going to get to a little more of a fun one, but before I ask that, how would you define your directing style with like, are you more of a hands-on director? How do you work when you're on set?
Very hands on. I try to be as prepared as humanly possible, and then like almost to a fault. And then when I get there, I ultimately kind of just throw it away and just extrapolate pieces from it and take it and run with it. So, and I'm very hands on with actors, and I like to kind of really be able to work on like a ground level with them and be able to level with them in a way that helps them feel safe and allow them to access their vulnerabilities quicker and more authentically. So yes,
Mhm.
definitely hands on.
I was talking with Adam, and he mentioned, I don't know if you've seen the interview. but
I haven't yet.
it's okay. That's fine. But
I
he's
promise I'll
he,
watch it today, though.
it's okay. He said that he loved how he could kind of improvise and draw from, whatever was coming to mind. And for me, I think that's really cool. Like, I'm getting more into acting now than I was, but I feel like working on a more independent set, or like a smaller uh, production, the creativity kind of flows.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. And then my fun last question was, because I have you here before, I'm never gonna be able to get in touch with you, and you're gonna, you know, be big director. Who are you longing to work with, or direct with, or cast?
Gosh, I mean, well, I would love to work with Leonardo DiCaprio, but to be honest, I don't think I could because I just would be like so intimidated and just the whole time I could never give him a direction ever.
Yeah.
But I would love to be in his presence. But I'm dying to work with Florence Pugh. I really want to
Oh my gosh. I was gonna mention Florence Pugh to you like 5 minutes ago,
no way. What were you gonna
because
mention?
because I'm in the middle of watching Midsummer right now,
Oh gosh.
and I was thinking about the colors in Midsummer, and just the color grading and stuff like that, and I was gonna say, like, I kind of can relate that to your colors,
Oh,
you know.
thank you. Yeah.
But I kept complimenting and complimenting, so I didn't bring that up. But
I'll
but
give you
yeah,
complimenting. Yeah,
it
um, she's
yeah, I
just
mean,
has
like,
a cool style and is really like you can't stop watching her. It's hard to
yes.
have it. It's like you either have that or you don't as an actor, and she definitely has that. And also Anya Taylor-Joy, am I saying that right? Anya.
I don't
She's
know.
fantastic too. Yes, you know her, Queen's Gambit.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. They're both like phenomenal actresses.
Yeah.
And Florence, I'm still kind of like shocked that we were
That's
thinking the same
crazy. We're
person.
really like on the same wavelength
Yeah.
right now.
Well, I thought like
Yeah.
Brenna killed the role, absolutely killed the role. In the future, if I were to see Florence working with you, with your kind of style of movie, I think that would be like a perfect pairing.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank
and
you.
yeah, and I
Hopefully she's
wanted to.
watching this and she's like, let me call that girl.
Hopefully she's watching it. Florence, I love you. You are amazing. Um, uh, but her scene at the dinner table in Black Widow, like, for me, that acting was like some of the best acting I've ever seen. So
She's
like,
from
yeah,
I
I
mean,
really. Sorry, go
not
ahead.
no, I mean we can just literally geek out about Florence
Of
Pugh all day
course,
long. Like, she's
but
really unique and special.
that's awesome that she's one of the people that you want to work with, and I would love to see that happen. So,
Fingers crossed.
any directors that you want to work with?
Well, as an actor, I would love to work with Scorsese just because he's like one of my all-time favorite directors and my hero. Um, and then I would love to work with Tarantino because duh, I would just love to see him in his element and just step
Yeah,
aside and like, fangirl.
absolutely.
But yeah, I would say number one would probably be Scorsese just because all my favorite movies are Scorsese movies.
That's awesome. And before we wrap it up here, I just wanted to give you the floor, because if there's anything that you want to talk, like promote, or social medias, stuff like that, shoot.
What? Well, I'm on all social media. I'm Niki Koss, Nikikoss, just one K. And yeah, I watched Night Night. It's out. It's on all
Watch it.
platforms, VOD, Amazon Prime, Apple TV, a bunch of different ones. I think it's still playing in theaters in a couple of spots too, but everything can be, you can see everything at nightnightmovie.com. And keep an eye on the K Factor Films Instagram page because we're always updating with our latest projects and directors, and there's some really fun content out there.
Awesome. Well, Nikki, welcome to the Dev Show, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. It's lovely to be here.
Awesome. I'm glad you had a good time.